Hey, what is up guys, this is Cobrak to repeat that the Season 1 patch notes for Diablo 4 are basically changing the entire video game. So let's make this one quick and snap through these notes, shall we? Because we don't have time to read a Bible, which is what these notes are, okay? So, new unique items and legendary aspects. It seems worth covering all of the new unique items. We've got the Avarian Spear of Lakenda, an uber unique staff. Gain a random shrine effect for 10 to 20 seconds after killing an elite enemy, can only occur once every 30 seconds. I don't know if this is just a meme item or what this is. It's uber unique. Maybe it's not even worth considering for that reason. How many people are actually going to get this staff to drop? Probably not very many, right? Barbarian Azurath, unique sword, lucky hit. Your core skills have up to a 20% chance to freeze enemies for 3 seconds and deal a whole bunch of cold damage. This one seems really, really cool. I like this as a barbarian enjoyer myself. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what it's competing with, you know, for the slot as the game goes late. But hey, I like the idea. Its flavorsome feels fancy. Druid Flesh Render, unique one-handed mace, debilitating Roar and Blood Howl. Now deal 0.5 to 1.0 damage. Does that mean 50 to 100% damage, I wonder? To nearby poisoned enemies. We got Necromancer. This one seems crazy as hell. Lidless Wall. Lucky Hit. It's actually a unique shield. Unlucky Hit. While you have an active Bone Storm, hitting an enemy outside of a Bone Storm has a percentage chance to spawn an additional Bone Storm at their location. Each of your active sacrifice bonuses increases the chance and the total number of additional Bone Storms you can have by +1. Oh my god. That seems absolutely insane to me. Having said that, I don't play Necromancer. Let me know, man, all you Necromancer enjoyers, if that's going to be one for the, like a build-defining unique. Seems pretty damn solid to me. Rogue Eaglehorn, a new unique bow. Penetrating shot has a percentage chance to fire an arrow that bounces off of walls and scenery. Hitting enemies from behind with penetrating shot will make them vulnerable for 3 seconds. The end here is a little bit sketchy, a little bit strange. Feels like rogues already have a ton of ways to apply vulnerable to their enemies. How necessary is this going to be? I don't know. Maybe I'm underestimating it. But yeah, the first half of the unique effect here. It seems fun. I'll give it that much. Again, depending on what it's going to be competing with, is it going to be that competitive? I don't know, dude. Yeah. It seems like a fun one. Let's see how well it does. Sorcerer, the Oculus unique wand, gain the effect of teleport enchantment for free. So if you enchant your teleport, your dash becomes the teleport too, right? When you evade using teleport enchantment, you are taken to a random location. I don't know. Seems like a meme to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't played Sorcerer anywhere near endgame. So yeah, maybe it's just like insane, and I'm just a damn fool. But there it is. As for the new legendary aspects, I'm not going to cover all of these one by one. We're going to try to keep this kind of quick. If you want to pause the screen right here and read any of them for your specific class, then please do go ahead and do that. We can't read all these patch notes here. It'll just be like a 2-hour video. I will hone in on this one right here, though. This is Craven, a mobility aspect. Oh, you guys actually can't see it. There we go. This is Craven, man. Mobility aspect right here. You gain 20 to 40% increased movement speed when moving away from a slowed or a chilled enemy. That seems absolutely insane to me, man. That seems to like cover most classes' mobility needs. Most people are either chilling or slowing at some point in their build with something or other. So I don't know, that one seems insane to me. Make of it what you will. The bug fixes, we're just going to skip through because there's actually just billions of them. Class bug fixes, dungeon bug fixes, gameplay, blah, 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 blah. We're just going to quickly sift through all of those. Oh my god, they really do go on forever, man. It's actually ridiculous. Okay, here we go, man. Gameplay updates. These are actually massive. These general updates right here. Altar of Lilith unlocks in our account-wide. Map discovery is now account-wide. Now, I believe that you just have to log in one time on your character that has the most altars of Lilith discovered and the most of your map discovered, and then boom, it will spread all of these unlocks and map discovery stuff across your whole account. Just a FYI for anybody who isn't sure about that. We have overall loot quality being significantly improved for silent chests. So yeah, be pulling the trigger on those whenever you encounter them. Not just riding past them anymore. What else have we got, man? Channel time for leave dungeon increased 3 to 5 seconds. We generally reduce the tendency for many monsters to move around in combat so that melee characters don't have to chase down their enemies as much. Well, Asmongold is going to be pretty happy about that. And yeah, again, being a barbarian alter, as it were, alt player, seems pretty damn good to me. Now, we also have some world tier changes here as well, some slight buffs to world tier 2 a little bit further up, but I'm kind of more interested in the world tier 3 and 4 changes right here. And what we actually have is monster level scaling being reworked a little bit. A big complaint that people had is that no matter how powerful your character gets, it always feels like the world is keeping up with you a bit too much, and it kind of diminishes the feeling of progress of leveling your character. Well, now on world tier 3, as soon as you get above level 55, you will begin to out-level the monsters up to a maximum of 5 levels, I believe. Yeah, so if you become level 62, the monsters will be level 57, and they will always be 5 levels below you once you get to level 62, and onwards and upwards, you know? So that's cool. Same thing in World Tier 3 as well. It's just going to kick in a little bit later, so every level you get over level 75, you will begin to outscale monsters a little bit as well. So, yeah, kind of cool, man. So we're just got a bunch more extra, like, scaling stuff here that I'm not too interested in, and it's just a small change. I don't know, man. You can go read the patch notes link down below in the video description if you want to really comb through all of these things, but we're trying to do a TLDR here, right? We got some Helltide changes, man. Helltide monsters now 3 levels higher than the player instead of 2. Most importantly, though, this is a big one. The Tortured Gift of Mysteries chest has had its cost increased to 250 Aberrant Cinders, up from 175. So yeah, really getting those chests on farm is going to be much more of a challenge now. It's going to be much more feverish trying to hit as many of these chests as you possibly can. And yeah, so this might seem really bad on the surface. It is, you know, it's going to suck a little bit not being able to farm so many Gift of Mysteries. However, these chests can also drop unique items now as well. That is a change that is coming in Season 1, I believe. Is that the Helltide chests can drop uniques, unlike, you know, how they operated beforehand, where it was Legos and rares only. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe that offsets it a little bit. Now, when it comes to the class changes, I'm just not sure there's too much of a point going over all of these. It looks like some general buffs to Barbarian, some general buffs to Ranged Rogue. I haven't really read through them that much. So, again, link down below to the patch notes in the video description if you want to go ahead and check those out in more detail, which you probably should, but for your specific class, obviously. After watching this video, now we have here some massive beginnings to some massive item changes, right? So first of all, we have some drop rate adjustments. This is massive, mostly for the completion rewards for Nightmare Dungeons. Nightmare Dungeons are getting increased, you know, equipment drop rates and stuff like that by like 10% here and there, which is all really cool. Nightmare Dungeons now have a 50% chance to drop a second legendary item upon completion, and Nightmare Dungeons now give 3 rare items upon completion, up from 1. Massive stuff. They're really pushing the Nightmare Dungeons. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's great. Next up, we've got, to kind of tie things off, and this is going to be huge. This is going to be like the biggest part of the video, because as much as I want to make this quick, we got to talk about this in some detail. And this is changes to item affixes, right? So check this out, man. We're increasing the availability of the affixes below to make them easier to include in different builds. So yeah, they're increasing the availability, meaning the occurrence rate of these affixes across items. 2, control impaired duration reduction. Barrier generation, which can now appear for all classes. Lucky hit chance while you have a barrier. Mastery skill damage, which has been newly added for sorcerer weapons and scales identically to core skill damage, apparently. So mastery skill damage is now going to be a thing for Sorc. And resistance to all elements can now appear on shields. Interesting stuff. It gets even more interesting. Check this out, man. The core stat bonus on weapons has been overperforming, so we're pulling back on this bonus. So normally you would get plus 50% stronger occurrences of either strength, dex, intelligence, or willpower on your weapons. That's been nerfed to just a 25% bonus. So still a little bit of a bonus, but a pretty big difference. Next up, we have some stats getting nerfed, right? Cooldown reduction is going to be reduced in power by roughly 30%. Imbuement skill cooldown reduction, oh my poor rogue dude, is going to be reduced by 30%. Same with trap skills as well. So huge nerfs to all occurrences of these affixes on your gear. And it just keeps on getting crazier and crazier, man. These item changes are going to change, I mean, they're just going to change everything, really. Critical strike damage is being nerfed. Lightning critical strike damage is also being nerfed. Critical strike damage with, I mean, just everything for Druid, really, as far as I can tell, is being reduced. And check this, man. Vulnerable damage is being reduced in power by minus 40%. Oh my god, man. So right now, vulnerable is just like mandatory for, I don't want to say like every build in the game, but kind of every build in the game. You know, if your build is using vulnerable, you are stacking this, right? Massive nest of vulnerable. It gets even more insane. Check this out, man. Disparities in inherent affixes can rule some weapons out before the rest of their stats are even rolled. For example, crossbows on rogues, right? You always want to pick up a crossbow because it just maximizes your vulnerable damage by so much. Well, check this out, man. Vulnerable damage, which is inherent on crossbows, has been reduced by 65%. Oh my god. Like, these are huge, but these are ridiculous changes, okay? Like, this is just going to change the way the game's played. Almost entirely. Probably, you know? Critical strike damage, yeah, inherent in swords is also being reduced by minus 50%. Jesus. Cooldown reduction, inherent in offense reduced by 35%. Jeez, man, like these are all like hugely build-defining affixes that you're hunting down and trying to maximize so hard. And to see like such huge steep nerfs to these is kind of exciting, you know, because it opens the door for lots of other builds, especially because a lot of other stuff is getting buffed that we haven't quite got to just yet, man. Check this out. Damage to crowd-controlled enemies is being decreased by 30%. Damage to frozen enemies is being increased by 20%. Maybe some Frost Rogue action coming in, some Cold Rogue. I don't know, man, but check this out, okay? So, this is where we just have like a wall of stats being buffed, right? So I'm just going to leave this on a slow scroll, and what they're generally doing is buffing the crap out of all of these kind of tertiary damage sources, like damage from new skills swapping to new weapons is increased, damage while in human form, blood skill damage, bone skill damage, you know, very, very tertiary kind of damage modifiers are all being increased by a quarter, such that everyone's build should be generally doing a little bit more damage as you begin to scale these things up. However, survivability is being nerfed. If we scroll all the way down to the bottom here, you guys can actually see that, right? Oh my god, look at all this. Where does the reduction start? Okay, it starts here, man. All of this action is getting nerfed the hell out of, man. Damage reduction from close enemies, from distant enemies, from enemies that are bleeding, burning, poisoned, etc., etc., right? So survivability, damage reduction while fortified is being reduced as well at the bottom there. They're nerfing the crap out of survivability such that higher tier content is more likely to kind of just one-shot the crap out of you. They weren't happy with how many... At how high level content was being cleared by characters that hadn't truly been like super maxed out. I suppose people clearing sigils that were 20, sometimes 30 levels ahead of their character, you know? And just pulling off these crazy things. By making you more fragile and making you focus on more damage, I don't know, man. It's more of like a risk-reward style of gameplay, I guess. Mobs are still going to feel extremely deadly. At late game, and I think that that's kind of cool. I don't know, man. I think that these are some sweet ass changes. Let me know what you guys think. We'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Post all your thoughts down below in the comments. Make sure you like and all of that good stuff. And I shall catch all of you guys just a tad bit later.